Hello, we are live. Welcome everyone who is joining us for today's Tech Talk. We're going to give it just a couple of minutes here until for people to join us. Thank you so much for coming. Everyone can see there is a chat there and a place to put questions. So if at any point in our Tech Talk today you have any questions, please put them in the chat or the Q&A, and we will have some time toward the end of the talk to answer those questions for you. You also will be receiving a recording of this talk, so if you miss anything, you want to go back to any points, you will be getting that shortly after the webinar has been finished. So no worries there. Again, we are just going to wait a couple more minutes to get going to see if anyone else will be joining us live. There's still people who are coming into the room as we speak. So we will be getting started momentarily. Okay, a couple more people are still just joining us. For anyone who's new to the room here, please feel free to post any of your questions in the chat. We will be answering questions towards the end. And I think we'll get started. We've got several people in the room now. Couple more joining us, but we'll get started with some introductions. So welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's SubC Tech Talk, from event logging to report-ready deliverables, a DVR plus workflow deep dive. My name is Marcy Crosby, and I am the Director of Marketing at SubC Imaging, and I'm going to be your host for today's session. Before we get started on today's topic, I wanted to provide a quick introduction to SubC for those who might not be familiar with us. We are based in Newfoundland, Canada, and for more than 15 years, we've been developing imaging, recording, and inspection solutions for offshore energy, environmental monitoring, surveys, and marine research operators. And today our technology is used by more than 220 organizations across more than 30 countries. And we support everything from commercial inspections to ocean science and subsea research and more. And one of the advantages we found in terms of working both across hardware and software is that we have had a front row seat to how inspection and survey workflows have changed and evolved over the years. And that perspective has really helped shape some of the ideas that you're going to be hearing about today. These are just a few of the organizations that we've been working with and who can trust subsea technology for their operations all over the world. And working with customers across such a wide range of application has really given us valuable insights into how inspection and survey workflows have changed over time. And that's really informed a lot of our technology development and where many of today's challenges still exist. Today's speaker on our topic today is Adam Rowe. He is the VP of Software at SubC, and he is also a co-owner and one of its very first employees. Adam has spent his career developing innovative software applications for ocean-related professionals, and he and his team have been focused on creating cutting-edge systems with really an intuitive user and modern interface. This includes his recent work leading on adaptable remote ops technologies, Raven camera software upgrades, and like the DVR plus upgrades that you're going to hear about today. So what should you expect today? We are going to be starting by looking at how offshore inspections and workflows have evolved over time through the lens of DVR technology and the tools available to inspection and survey teams at each stage. As we move through that evolution, we're going to discuss some of the challenges that existed with each approach and how those challenges have helped drive the development of newer DVR technologies and workflows. And then from there, we're going to take a look at the DVR Plus and some of the capabilities that support more modern inspection operations today. Finally, we're going to spend a few minutes discussing where we see inspection and survey technology heading next before we open things up for questions. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Adam.
Thank you very much, Marcy. So first off, I'd like to kind of just do a little bit of a look back and take a look at kind of a few inflection points in technology that have made a big impact on offshore inspection and surveys with regards to recording and DVR technology. So we'll take a look at capturing and recording data, kind of how that was done, logging events and anomalies, and then connecting data and reports, data and events to the client deliverable report. Some of the challenges that were faced at those times and some solutions that were implemented. So first off, we've got our handwritten logs. This is of course very old, and it had a number of different challenges. So manual entry, of course, was a big issue. This was all done by hand, pen, and paper. There was no connection to any of the data. Nothing was linked to video or stills that were likely recorded on tapes. This could be easily lost, damaged, and pose just a number of issues with this technique. So after that, we've got we have digital spreadsheets, and that give us a lot of advantages over a handwritten dive log. Of course, now we've got all of the data in a spreadsheet that we can link to one another. This still presented a number of challenges. It was still a very manual process. It had to be, saved on hard drives. Those had to be transferred, and things could be like fixed afterwards as well with different points in time in the video. But still, there was more innovation coming towards optimizing that entire workflow. So, of course, now we have recording software that is more automated towards linking all of those events and data and stills and video together. Saves a ton of manual rework time that you don't need to go and manually do all this cross-referencing afterwards. There are still, there still are and were a number of challenges with recording software as it was being adopted within the industry. It was tied to hardware, big physical rack mount PCs that had to fit within, often limited storage space. They were like distributed amongst multiple PCs to do different functions, black box overlay. Typically were just singular boxes that would all go in. So it was very expensive, of course, to get all this from a money perspective, but also from a power perspective. And they were fairly clunky, not particularly easy to use. They were built with function in mind, and the user experience was not really part of that design language. So while there were a number of advantages over previous methods, of course, there's always still work to be done. So in steps the DVR Plus. We have been actively developing our video recording software now for over 15 years. It has evolved considerably over that time, of course, and we still are actively investing and developing it. One of the pillars of our development is client feedback. So we always work very closely with clients to make sure we're always delivering value and we're solving actual challenges rather than inventing problems and then trying to solve those. So anytime there's any feedback from anybody, we're always open to hear it, whether it's positive or negative, things that you would like to see coming up in future versions. We're always open to listening to that feedback and criticism and making sure that we're actively developing towards a better future state of value. So just a little bit of an overview here of what the DVR is. So we can currently record up to 6 video channels. They can be of any input, IP, HD, HDMI, SDI, composite, 4K. It can take in basically any camera input to be able to record and do eventing and take frame grabs and all of those things on it. Of course, it works with our own cameras, and you get really tight integration with the Rayfin camera. The control interface is built directly into the recording software, but it also works with any camera on the market today, so it's completely modular within any environment. We do have live real-time image enhancement that is applied to the video in real time. And of course, with our Rayfin camera, we've got high resolution still capture that can be used in conjunction with doing an inspection or survey. All the stills are logged, and also for a rapid digital imaging inspection or survey, all of those stills will also be logged and auto-linked with any events that are being taken during that campaign. So one of the first challenges that we wanted to address was by offering multiple options for configurations to be able to use our product. That started with a software-only version. That was at around the beginning of COVID, when PC hardware and everything got extremely difficult to acquire. We decided to offer our products as a software-only installer. That allowed a lot of users to be able to not only save money, but also run on existing hardware that they already had. So you didn't need to continue to clutter up your rack mount with additional PCs if you didn't need that. We also have a mobile or laptop version that comes in 2 different flavors. We've got our standard laptop version, and we also have our rugged option for if you're actually working out in the elements and you've got anything that might splash onto it or anything like that. And then the traditional 3U rack mount version, which is fully populated with any cards built to spec, whatever inputs that you would require, fully QC'd, fully warranted, and then with the software and everything running on it. So one of the first features that I'll go over here is the project details and then the project plan. So typically when work is getting ready to start offshore, if you're going to do an inspection or a campaign, there's a bit of work that's being done up front. So you want to create that project, add any metadata or details to give context to the offshore staff or to the onshore staff when they're doing offline editing afterwards. So we have the ability to put in all of these project related details. All of these as well can be linked to our new project overlays. So as things change and update, they will be reflected on the overlay from the actual project details. Also, you can see over on the left, we've got our project plan, and that can be configured to suit whatever type of inspection or survey you're doing. So if you're doing a component or asset-based survey, all of that hierarchy or tree can be built in there, whether you're doing transects or a task-based project. all of those kinds of campaigns and inspections can be adapted to that project plan. They can also be made as a template in Excel and import it and export it afterwards. That will automatically go and create that directory structure on the DVR itself. So all video, stills, everything is captured and organized according to that project plan. So next we have our events set up. So we call the software comes with a standard set of events that can be captured, but they are completely configurable. You can edit, modify any of the events that are there, add, remove all of those event classification types and the events themselves. So it's built in a way to be very apparent, easy to use, and intuitive, so that users can get up and running without having to go through, manuals or much training or anything like that. We also have the ability to tag specific pieces of data that might be incoming from your survey or as serial data, UDP data. All of that can be tagged and logged specifically with each event. So in review, you can clearly see all the different relevant pieces of data that were captured with that event. All data is captured while you're recording and is automatically pulled when you go to reference those events. So there's no concern over data being lost if they're not checked off or anything. This just gives users the ability to see relevant, specific pieces of data at a glance. So here we have what I feel is one of our most innovative features of our new workflow, and that is our event aperture. So the way that this is developed, it's developed in a classification system that lets you drill down into what specific event you're capturing. So you can very quickly bring up the aperture and they're all categorized. You're not overwhelmed with 40 different options or buttons that you're trying to find at a moment's notice. When things are happening fast and in real time, you can very quickly just click on the video to bring up that aperture and then dial down very quickly afterwards. Events are captured at the moment of interaction with the video. So if it takes you a second or two to find specifically the type of event that you're looking for, the event was logged when the event occurred, not when you finished classifying it. That also gives us the ability that if we need to very quickly take multiple events per second, for example, we might have a few that are unclassified. They'll very clearly show up over on the right in all the logged events, and they can be reclassified live if you have a downtime, or in post when someone is doing QA on this project. They're able to go and recategorize, reclassify that event if it wasn't able to be done during the live piece of the project. And also, so we can go to the next one, and now we have QA review for offline editing in Review Studio. So this is a standalone piece of software that acts as our offline editor. It is a complimentary license with the purchase of a DVR or an upgrade of your annual program license. So if anybody has a Rayfin, SCI, or a version of DVR that is older, all the features that I've been talking about today are available with a license upgrade and then you'll keep all of this, indefinitely. So our offline editor Review Studio can be run onshore. It can also run on the DVR itself. And here's where we can go back and review all the events that were taken, all the stills. We can manage multiple projects, all the project details that were modified and edited are transferred over as you bring over the project from offshore to onshore. It can be further edited if it needs to at that point for log creation. So the player lets us skip through different points in time to review all of those events. We can redefine or reclassify. We can capture new events or frame grabs at any point in time in Review Studio. All of this will be reflected in the log that's generated that you can take and use to make your report for your client-ready deliverable. So this enables collaboration across different teams to be able to have an onshore piece, an offshore piece, and allows for very quick review and generation of that log. So next we have our log export, and this is a particular area of interest for us. Over the next few months, we'll be doing a considerable number of upgrades to our log generation to optimize what we're able to generate and make it more customizable. A lot of our clients like things put in specific ways for their specific application. Right now, we've got a few generic templates that can be generated. These Excel sheets can then be modified after the fact in Excel or Google Sheets, some spreadsheet editing software. And we can clearly see all the events that were captured during that inspection or survey. All of our project details carry over. If you're running Excel on your computer, then all the video and stills and frame grabs are all directly linked and are accessible from the log to be able to review them further, to look at different points in time. All of the data that was captured during the inspection is also all logged and very easily referenced. And you can see that if we had tagged specific pieces of data, they show up in that separate field, just so at a glance we can see what the specific data was at that point in time. So now that we've gone through our latest development and release with the software in that workflow, I'd like to just talk briefly about what's next with inspection and surveys with regards to our technology as we move forward. So cloud, of course, has become a very significant part of our workflows and the ability to collaborate remotely. Right now, there are often a number of challenges. The work typically is distributed now where there's onshore work, there's offshore work. So for example, when you're scoping out or planning a project, oftentimes that'll happen onshore. That'll need to be transferred to a thumb drive or a hard drive, transferred to offshore so they have all the events, they have the project plan. This presents a number of challenges, of course. Data can get corrupted, lost, damaged. Also, the time and cost of transferring physical media is not desirable. Once the project is completed, all that data, again, likely often needs to be transferred over to a physical media drive where it then needs to be sent back onshore and then download or copied over to another computer where review can take place. This is a pretty clunky process. So one of the big areas of interest for us is towards migrating a lot of that synchronization to the cloud. And that will probably take place in two different ways, where the first stage will be synchronizing the project. So the project, all the project plan, all the events, that work can be done onshore, synchronized to the cloud, so that when you go offshore, there's not a big data requirement depending on the network that you're using. It would be a small update to be able to pull down the actual project scope to be able to complete that project. Similarly, on the onshore side, in Review Studio, you'd be able to open up that online project and do any additional work from there. The second stage of that process would be actually archiving all of the inspection and survey data to the cloud itself. So then everything is backed up. This can be done in real time if you have a Starlink or 4G connection. If you have ample bandwidth, all of that data can then be synchronized in the cloud. And then that would make for very easy review afterwards. If you had multiple QA teams who wanted to collaborate on the inspection together, they would be able to open and synchronize their projects with their computers. So all work would be reflected and propagated to all the different reviewers. So this is probably, this is going to be the next stage for us that we'll be releasing probably in Q4 or Q1 of next year. If any of this sounds like it is of high interest to any of you, please feel free to reach out and give us your feedback on that direction. We're always looking for ways to kind of test and verify our assumptions here at SubC.
Okay, thank you very much, Adam. That was really informative. It's amazing to see how much work has been done there. At this point, I'd like to invite anyone to post a question to the chat if you have one, and Adam can help answer it for you. So please take a moment and just post your questions. While we're waiting, Adam, if you can you go into a little bit more detail around the feedback that you've gotten so far on that aperture lens and how people have sort of received that, as it's my understanding that, many DVR softwares, again, the user interface is a little clunky and very static. So can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. We've gotten a lot of really positive feedback on that feature. It allows for users to very quickly develop that muscle memory so that they know exactly where everything is at a glance. It allows for very quick and easy tagging of any events and should increase the speed that you can capture those. We also have the ability to add a free text event as well. So if you need to do something on the fly, they can be popped up, and then you can just free text in that specific event. Severity can be added to event types as well. So if there are any anomalies that you want to tag at a specific severity, to be able to filter those while you're recording or afterwards. You might want to generate a quick, we've seen 8 anomalies in the past 6 hours type of report. So yeah, that eventing aperture allows for a very quick and fluid workflow.
Amazing. And one of the things you also talked about is how all these things came to be developed, and as well how sort of the technology roadmap that you're going to be developing in the future. And you discussed how we don't want to just make something for the sake of making it. We're making it in conjunction and collaborating with people who are actually doing the work in the field. Can you talk a little bit more about that process? And if anyone wants to join in some testing and informing future technologies.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've implemented a fairly recent process within SubC where we recognize sale opportunities or market gaps that may have some. We may have some gaps within our technology offering to be able to fit for a specific workflow or requirement. So we flag those all the time and take them very seriously, where we collaborate with clients to make sure we understand what their goal and objective is, to make sure that we can remove any of those technical gaps or barriers to make it fit for their application. We have a number of clients who act as development partners who are actively beta testing any new features that we have. They get to be on the cutting edge of a lot of our development. And yeah, that's a very ingrained process that we do here, is very closely interact with any new or existing clients and make sure that everything is working as it needs to be as quickly as possible.
Amazing. We have had a couple questions come in, so we're going to start with Patrick's question. He's asking, how do you define events? Annotations in time or also in space, like frame coordinates? I am looking for a combination of an advanced integrated video player that incorporates survey sensor data, but also gives the possibility to create standard annotation feeds to ML-AI.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a really cool question, and that is definitely something that we have as an area of interest. So right now, it's just time-based. Location from like a GPS or latitude longitude perspective is also captured with that event. I think you might be talking about more the actual position in the video. So for example, if you see something, say a fish, and you take an event, being able to actually recognize at that point in time of the video there was this particular fish. That is something that we are interested in doing for future development, and are totally open to having a conversation about that at any time to be able to set up that AI or ML workflow to give the model a little bit more context about specifically what it is you're trying to pick out. So not right now. We don't have that specific ability. Something that we have thought about and would love to have a conversation about it moving forward.
Right. So annotations can happen in time, but in space, that's where we're developing. So you can do the annotation in time.
Yeah, absolutely. And in space, with reference to where in the video, of course, your location of where you actually are, again, your lat long is, it's logged within that space, but not within the actual depth of the video. If there is a particular feature or something that you wanted to specify in that video frame space, not yet on that one.
Okay, great. Well, Patrick, thanks for your question. And perhaps, you could be someone who helps us test that out as we go. The next question is from Brian. He says, if I understood correctly, there will be availability in the future to review onshore during the execution of the campaign based on the cloud.
Yeah, absolutely. So we want to be able to support that remote operation, remote inspection perspective, where as the inspection and survey are happening offshore, they're continuously being synchronized with the cloud so that review can happen in tandem in real time. There's a couple different ways that challenge can be solved, depending on where the actual inspection is taking place. We do have clients who are using our video and data streaming service, who are streaming all that footage back onshore to the DVR, and then they're doing the inspection onshore from there. And then that would also be able to be reviewed in real time, in concurrently with the actual acquisition of the project. That would be, yes, an area that we are going to be actively working towards.
Thank you. The next question, forgive me if I pronounce this incorrectly, but it's Drielly. They say, thank you very much for the presentation. I would like to know, what are the minimum hardware requirements for this software? Does it need dedicated hardware? Would the charge be one-time fee or an annual fee? And how do you already have any clients in Brazil using this product?
All great questions. So the cost is the minimum spec is dependent on what the number of cameras and the resolution, the quality of those cameras. So for example, if you had one standard definition camera that you wanted to use, you would not need much of a computer to be able to run that. It would run on a fairly standard laptop. When we start talking about HD or 4K, then the requirements go up from there. And also when we talk about doing multiple in parallel, we do have a minimum or recommended specifications kind of guide that we can absolutely send you. Or if you want to reach out to us, we can make sure you get that to see if it will run on your existing hardware. It doesn't need anything dedicated. If you've got a laptop with other software on it, it will run on that likely just fine. Let me just read down through the rest of the question. So yeah, the way our charging works is it is a one-time cost, and then afterwards we have a yearly annual program license that will basically get you the next year's worth of updates, and that would continue to move forward. However, the software will never stop working. If you could just purchase it for that one time, and after that year, that would be the latest version that you would be able to run. So any future updates, you would need to purchase that, relicense it to be able to get any of those future updates after that. Do we have clients in Brazil? Yes, actually, yes. It took me a second to think about that, but yes, absolutely. We do have clients in Brazil that are actively using our products and technology. Yes.
Thanks, Adam. Does anyone else have any other questions that they want to put in the chat about this or anything else related to SubC Imaging's work? We can absolutely get back to some of the people who have posted questions if you want more details or to be involved with some of our technology development. We'll just wait another moment here. However, if anyone does have any questions or if you think about anything after the webinar today, please feel free to reach out to team@subcimaging.com and send us an email. We are more than happy to answer any of your questions. We've got another question coming in here. This one's from Clinton. The eventing looks great. Is there any plan to develop work packs that allow to have things that are needed to be done for a campaign?
Yes. So if I'm understanding correctly, like to make a work pack to be able to bring into the DVR to be able to do that work, I guess separately. Yes, absolutely. That is definitely something that we are looking at implementing as well. And Clint, we will probably be reaching out in the near future to have a conversation about that.
Amazing. Thank you. Final call for questions. Again, if anyone has other questions after the call or is interested further, you can email us at team@subcimaging.com or visit our website at subcimaging.com. I want to thank everyone for attending. You will be receiving an email from us in the next couple of hours. Oh, we got another question. I love it. Patrick is asking, I like the GPS integrated time events. I understand the frame coordinates could be developed.
Yeah.
Working with marine monitoring, we are counting organisms. So we might have many observations in the same frame, but also different organisms.
Right.
Is there an opportunity to program short keys for different events?
Yeah, so that is another area that we have on our development roadmap. Actually, is to have an alternative method for that kind of workflow. Also, like being able to do it maybe on a separate screen or tablet, and kind of have that more broken out tablet workflow. Yes, that is something that we currently have on our development roadmap, and again, would love to have a conversation with you, Patrick, at any point to kind of dial that in a little bit closer and make sure that we're, developing towards what your expectations would be.
Fantastic. Patrick, we'll have your information with your registration, so we can reach out to you to continue the conversation if you have any further questions. As Adam said, part of, I think, what sets SubC Imaging apart is we do collaborate with people who are actually using our technology to make sure that we're providing the solutions that are going to work and solve the challenges and do what you guys want it to do in your day-to-day work. So amazing, Patrick. Yeah, we will definitely reach out. Thank you, everyone, for attending today. We've got another one. Guys, keep the questions coming, everyone. Yeah. Okay, so Jack is asking, if the customer's virtual license expires, they cannot open the software, which is a bit inconvenient. So that's incorrect, Jack. So if your license expires, you can still use the software.
Yeah.
The annual update just allows you to get all of the new software updates and all of the new technologies. So making sure that your software will still work absolutely fine,
yep.
No problem.
Yep.
You are able to still continue using it. You just don't get the upgrades and services. So so it's no problem that you can still continue using it. We've had customers who are very happy with the DVR and use it very regularly right now, who are waiting a bit to upgrade to the new software because they really like it, so they can still continue to use it. The annual license just gives you access to all of the new updates that we deliver within the span of a calendar year. Hopefully that's clear. Adam, anything else you want to add to that?
You nailed it, Marcy.
Amazing. Perfect. Any final questions for anyone? I know sometimes in the chat it takes a minute for you guys to write it out, but we want to make sure that we are providing people with the answers to their questions. We'll give it another 30 seconds or so, and then we will sign off. And again, you will be receiving this Tech Talk in a email in a couple of hours. Everyone should be receiving that. Please feel free to forward it to anyone in your that may also benefit from learning about this. And we are very happy that everyone registered and attended today. And with that, I think we'll sign off. I haven't seen any other questions. Adam, anything final from you?
Nope. Thank you, everybody, for attending. And I look forward to any future conversations that might come out of this. And understanding how we can better shape our technology to provide maximum value.
Amazing. Again, thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day and your week. And hopefully we'll see you at our next Tech Talk. Thank you.
Thank you. See you.
Okay. Bye.